Awesome. Anything you want to leave the audience with today?
Well, if you're in the agency world, I think the key things are to find a few good people to follow and make sure, just continue to follow them, continue to, whether it's Josh or your channel or whatever, continue to follow those people, try to pick a niche, pick a service, pick a thing that you do, stick with it and try to be good at it and treat everybody as right as you can.
Yep. Yeah. One thing you said there that I really like to stick with it. Rob and I think one of our best attributes is that we are persistent, and that persistence beats most things.
Absolutely.
The falling water beats the rock, and all it needs is time. And
when I had and I've had this before, I've owned a couple of other businesses, but to fight that sort of shiny object syndrome, what I do is if I start something, I'm mentally commit to it for X period of time. Mm-hmm. Like however this works out, I'm going to spend the next 3 years doing this. Because frankly, you can't learn enough lessons if you're switching around from thing to thing. And to pull in a reference from Scott Adams, I don't know if you've read any of Scott Adams stuff, but you can't build your skill stack if you're constantly shifting back and forth. So if you get Google Ads skills and then you get some sales skills and then you get some, content creating skills, you can stack them up and suddenly you look more talented than you are. I'm the perfect example of that, yep. But if you're constantly shifting what you're doing, you're never going to stack those things on top of each other.
I'm gonna throw one thing in there as in terms of skills that I think will help you no matter what you do moving forward, and that's the management of cash through a business. It's understanding your numbers, because I think if you could become a better operator in the business, it's a more important skill to have than necessarily the service that you're offering, whether it be Google Ads or SEO or landscaping or power washing or real estate investing, whatever it is. I think the operator mentality, so understanding the flow of leads through your business, your sales process, understanding your numbers and that going through an accounting system, a bookkeeping software, knowing your CRM, that kind of stuff is super valuable because it's transferable into other businesses. So I'd almost say learn to be a good operator in your business just as much as, and become the 10,000 hour expert in that, in addition to whatever skill, whatever service you're going to be offering, whether it's Google Ads, SEO, web design, whatever it is. That operator piece is super valuable because certain platforms will come and go. I'm not saying Google is coming or going, but there were industries built around the fax machine, and that's no longer there. But those operators that ran those businesses are now operating other businesses. So I think not enough people put weight on being able to operate the business itself and manage the cash flow through the business. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, the numbers are 100% essential. And frankly, you can apply that skill to any other business. But if you're not watching your numbers, you don't know what your costs are. You obviously don't know what your costs are. If you don't know what your numbers are, you really don't understand your business at all. You don't know if you're going to make a profit if you're just looking in your paycheck in your checkbook and hoping that you have enough money to pay the bills. You have to know exactly where it's going. So you break it down you can break it down as much as you want to. But you certainly have to break it down into, these are my fixed costs that I have every month. These are my variables. And you have to look at those numbers and say, whoa, that seems out of whack. Like we basically will assign, I don't want to spend more than X dollars per account on optimization. I don't want to spend more than X dollars on acquiring a client type of thing. Yep. Now, I don't always achieve those numbers, but at least I have a number. Yep. How do I have those numbers? Because I know my numbers. Because you spend as much time in your numbers as you do with your people, I think. And 100%. with your all the services that you offer, or the glossy thing that the outside people see, is the internal stuff that's the health of your business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could strip out everything that we're doing here and layer that into another service-based business, and it'd be very, very similar in terms of the functioning of the business itself. you've got your, the lead generation, you've got the marketing, the lead generation, the delivery of that service, whatever that might be. So like getting good at being an operator, I think is just as important, if not more important of a skill set for you to have in your career. So if you're an agency owner, if you're, a business owner already, keep that in mind. Practice the art of operating the business. I think that'll make your life a lot easier moving forward.
Yeah, what's the book, The E-Myth? Obviously, that's a great one for that whole thing. And I was, one of the things that I'm going to put out in the content that I swear I'm going to create, because it's interesting to me, is that leap from contractor to agency.
Yep.
Because that's very difficult. It took me about 3 tries, and I did the whole Wile E. Coyote thing about 2 times, where I almost made it to the other cliff, and then I, landed flat in my face. It's difficult to go from just me and my expenses and me running everything to creating a team.
Yep.
Piling up new expenses that you didn't have before, and all the things that go into that. And so start learning your numbers early.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Before you have to panic and realize, because I hear all these numbers all the time, we're doing $1 million a month in recurring revenue. Well, who cares? What if you're spending 1.1?
Right.
But if someone's doing 200,000 a month in recurring revenue and they're spending 50, God bless them. That's a good business right there.
Way more attractive. Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much for your time today, Mark. I appreciate it. Mark, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they find you on Facebook? How do they find your company website? Where do they go?
www.inboundrevenue.com, or just search up Mark Kelly on Facebook. Awesome. You should find me.
Awesome. All right. That's it for the recording. Thank you, everyone, guys. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Thanks, Ed.